A billionaire father watched as a black waitress allowed his disabled son to guide a dance step, and that single moment altered her life forever. A heavy hush settled over Kingsley's Manhattan's most elite dining room. It wasn't just quiet, it was dense, almost tangible. Conversations died mid-sentence. Forks hovered inches above porcelain plates. Every gaze locked onto the narrow aisle between the tables. 10-year-old Lucas Montgomery trembled openly. The metal braces gripping his legs rattled as he reached, out toward Diana Johnson, the restaurant's only black server. A pianist had just eased into a gentle tune when the boy's sudden urge to ask someone to dance surfaced without thought or planning. "Sir, restrain your child." Manager Thornton's voice sliced through the silence, sharp and offended. "That's inappropriate. This is a fine dining establishment, not a dance floor. Our staff is not here to amuse children." Richard Montgomery, founder of Montgomery Investments and among the wealthiest men in America, felt his throat tighten. This was the first time since the accident 2 years earlier that had partially paralyzed Lucas's legs that he'd dared bring his son into public. It would also be the last. "Lucas, sit down." His tone was low, controlled, final. Diana stood frozen, eyes shifting between the furious manager, the rigid billionaire, and the small boy whose hand still hovered in the air. In 5 years at Kingsley's, she had perfected the art of invisibility, especially around patrons like Montgomery. "Mr. Thornton, I'm clocking out," she said calmly, slipping off her apron and placing it neatly on a tray. Then, astonishing. "Everyone." She smiled at Lucas and gently took his hand. "I can't dance while wearing this." Richard shot to his feet. "What do you think you're doing?" "I'm accepting an invitation," Diana replied evenly. Before anyone could intervene, Lucas took a cautious step forward. His foot dragged across the marble floor, braces screeching softly. Diana didn't correct him. She didn't rush him. She simply slowed herself to match his pace. "She'll be fired by morning," a woman whispered from a nearby table. Richard couldn't move. A memory surged. Elizabeth, his late wife, swaying with Lucas in their living room. "It's never about perfection," she had once said. "It's about connection." As Lucas continued, something shifted in his eyes. Fear dissolved into focus. Embarrassment softened into quiet pride. For the first time since the accident, no one was steering him, fixing him, or adjusting him. He was leading. "Mr. Montgomery," Thornton muttered urgently, "I assure you this will never happen again. She will be dealt with." Richard didn't answer. The room waited. Everyone knew a single word from him could erase a career. But all he heard was Lucas's soft laugh. After 3 careful steps, Diana guided the boy back to the table. "Thank you for the dance," she said formally, as if addressing a grown man. "It was an honor." As she turned away, Richard spoke. "Wait." Even to himself, his voice sounded unfamiliar. "What's your full name?" "Diana Johnson, sir." He repeated it slowly, committing it to memory. Then he removed a card from his jacket. "My office, tomorrow, 10 a.m. The restaurant exhaled as one. Diana accepted the card without expression, though her fingers shook. "Dad?" Lucas asked softly. "Why did you do that?" Richard looked at his son and saw more than a child recovering from injury. He saw someone whose needs he had ignored for 2 years. Dinner resumed in strained silence. No one noticed Diana's final glance, not fearful, not defeated, but resolute. Something powerful had been set in motion. Montgomery Tower gleamed with glass and marble, sunlight bouncing off every surface. Diana felt out of place in her best. Clothes, a navy skirt and white blouse bought on clearance. The people passing her wore outfits worth more than her rent. "Diana Johnson to see Mr. Montgomery," she told the receptionist. A curt glance. A phone call. "18th floor. Miss Winters will escort you." In the elevator, Diana clutched her worn purse. She wasn't scared. She had survived worse. Miss Winters, 40s, immaculate, sharp-eyed, met her in silence. "He had you fired, didn't he?" she said bluntly once they were alone. "It happens. Powerful men complain. People like you disappear." "And people like you decide where we belong?" Diana asked calmly. Before Winters could answer, her phone rang. "He'll see you now." Richard's office spanned half the floor. Manhattan stretched beneath the windows like a toy city. "Miss Johnson," he said carefully, "thank you for coming." Silence followed, strategic, intentional. "Your education?" he asked finally. "Bachelor's in child development. Incomplete master's in special education." His brow flickered. "And you wait tables?" "I work 3 jobs." He opened a folder. Photos spilled out, children, dancing in a community center. "Freedom Steps," he said. "You founded it." "I co-founded it. A program for children with physical disabilities about to shut down." "I didn't come asking for money." "Then why are you here?" "Because you invited me." Richard exhaled. "I want you to work for me." "As a waitress?" "As a therapeutic companion for Lucas." "No." The word stunned him. "I don't work for people who see my race or class before my ability," Diana said. "And I don't let money replace care." She placed her own card on his desk. "Freedom Steps, Tuesdays and Thursdays. First class is free." The following Wednesday, a Bentley idled outside the community center. Lucas climbed out first. Then Richard followed. Inside, children moved freely, wheelchairs spinning, prosthetics tapping, laughter filling the room. "This looks chaotic," Richard muttered. "It's structured," Diana replied, "just not controlled." Lucas stepped forward. Later, surrounded by cameras, Lucas removed a brace and took a step. Alone. One shaky step. The room erupted. Richard's eyes filled. "That," Diana said softly, "is why we exist." Cornered by truth and cameras, Richard made a choice. The Montgomery Foundation would fully fund Freedom Steps, with no interference. Months later, bulldozers broke ground. A center rose, not luxurious, but revolutionary. Lucas progressed faster than doctors predicted. Richard showed up, listened, learned. At the opening ceremony, Lucas, now leading other children, moved with confidence no money could buy. "He doesn't need you to hold him," Diana said. "No," Richard agreed, "but he still needs me near." A reporter asked what he'd learned. Richard faced the camera. "True leadership isn't guiding others where you think they should. Go. It's knowing when to follow someone who shows you a better way." And in that moment, a billionaire finally took his most important step back, so his son and countless others could move forward.